So can you know, Senator Langford has described these negotiations and his interest in parole as really focused on the use of parole at ports of entry, that is through the CBP-1 app and also between ports of entry for the first migrants. Those are separate issues from everything you're describing. Would a reform focused on that be enough?
Well, we have 125,000 spots for refugees, people that can apply for admission into the country from overseas. That's available to Afghans. We're looking at the Afghan Adjustment Act for people that got here. But there have been crises all over the world ever since we've been around. During the Obama-Trump years, look how they use parole. There is no good explanation for going from 5,000 on average a year to almost 1 million. The only explanation is they're abusing the tool because they want to get as many people in the country as they can. So the constant question for Republicans, who are we dealing with? Are we dealing with incompetent people or people who have an agenda? I think this is Exhibit A. They have an agenda. There is no way in hell you can have the numbers go from 5,623 to over 800,000 without you intending to bring people into the country. Wholesale ignoring the law. We're going to win the lawsuit. But Governor Abbott apparently told John Cornyn something very important as to why we should act now. Are you expecting me to sit on the sidelines for the rest of this year to take 1 million more? No, I'm not. To those who think that if President Trump wins, which I hope he does, that we can get a better deal, you won't. You got to get 60 votes in the United States Senate. What Senator Langford's been able to achieve in asylum and expedited removal in other areas along the border, I think are meaningful reforms. But none of those reforms will work until you deal with parole. So to my Republican friends, to get this kind of border security without granting a pathway to citizenship is really unheard of. So if you think you're going to get a better deal next time, in 25, if President Trump's president, Democrats will be expecting a pathway to citizenship for that, in my view. So to my Republican colleagues, this is a historic moment to reform the border in a way that would give tools to the next president they don't have today and lessen the flow to take pressure off people in Texas and Arizona and all throughout the border. Yep.
When you talk about placing a cap on parole, what sort of number are you looking at?
I'm going to leave that up. I'm going to leave that up to the negotiators and let Senator Thune. What we got to do is go home and tell people we fixed the problem. So most Americans, I bet you didn't know this. I didn't know it either. Most Americans have no idea how parole is being abused until now, until this very moment. When I had my staff look at the numbers, how has parole been used in the past? So when you go back for the last decade, it's 5,623 on average per year. And look what they did last year. Look what they're doing this year. So without a cap, you're going to have to prove to me you've changed the law in such a fashion that this stops. I don't know if you can get there without a cap.